It just got interesting, my friends. If you have not been keeping up with the news about the Columbus Crew, hashtag save the crew, you're going to want to watch this video. Actually, you probably want to watch, there's going to be another one popping up. I did a similar video back in December 8th, that kind of walks through what could happen. And this is more of a follow-up because now we have actual news. But you need to go watch that one to kind of understand what's going on. Long story short, this guy, the Ohio Attorney General, Mike DeWine, is moving forward with suing the Columbus Crew, Anthony Precourt, Precourt Sports Ventures, the whole kit and caboodle, for trying to move the team away from Ohio to Austin, Texas. Well, how can he do that? The previous video explains it, but the long and short of it is, in 1996, Ohio wrote a state law because in 1996, the Browns moved to Baltimore. So they wrote a law and said, that's not going to happen again. We are not going to give taxpayer dollars to support a pro sports team, whether that's in reduced cost of land or reduce the lease on that land or whatever. They get some sort of tax support from the state, and then there's no consequences. They could just up and move. So they wrote a law that said, if you get support from us, you have to give the state of Ohio 6 months notice that you're going to leave. And in those 6 months, you have to offer the team to local businesses to essentially allow a group of local business people to buy the team at a reasonable cost. So it was rumored back in December that this would happen. And this guy, Mike DeWine, is moving forward with it. Interesting, because I want to ask you your thoughts. Do you think this is legitimate? Or is it a political play? And I hate to go down that path, but Mike DeWine is running for governor. Is it a thing where he's like, there's no way this is going to work, but it's going to look really good that I tried? And then he brings it forward that way to score some political points? Or do you think it could legitimately happen? So let's take a look. I want to bring up my browser here. Let's get rid of Mike and the crew logo. I actually don't know if you can even see this, but this is the announcement. I'm going to link to it in the description below. It's on the ohioattorneygeneral.gov website. It's a media news release. Essentially, it talks about how they are going forward with the suit. And, State Representative Mike Duffy is happy about it, blah, blah, blah. It was kind of, I said in the previous video, it was Mike and Mike, because State Representative Mike Duffy is a leader in the Save the Crew effort. But this really kind of is when it says in 1996, that's when it starts to explain it. It's narrowly written common sense statute applies to owners whose teams use tax supported facilities and accept financial assistance from the state and its localities, prohibits them from moving elsewhere unless they give 6 months advance notice of the intention to move, and give the city, an individual or a group of individuals who live in the area, an opportunity to purchase the team. So that's new. The city, in theory, could buy the team. Probably not going to happen, but you never know. Cleveland's like, let's go for it. Or Columbus, not Cleveland. Sorry, think of the Browns. The lawsuit alleges, so again, you have to prove it in court, that they accepted the benefits of approximately $5 million in state taxpayer-funded improvements to the parking facilities, accepted state property tax exemption for the land on which the Career SC's home field, MAP-free stadium, sits, leased that land from the state at below market rate. So essentially, it's not like we gave them a little bit of tax help, like bullet point after bullet point of tax assistance. Accepted more than $300,000 in city taxpayer-funded reimbursements of their costs in moving portions of a storm sewer and constructing a water line. Entered into a tax increment financing and economic development agreement with the city of Columbus to extend Silver Drive to increase access to MAP-free stadium, currently costing the city $1.3 million in tax revenue, with the potential total cost of more than $2.1 million. So a lot of benefit, like actual dollars. They've got 5 things that they're alleging that the Columbus Crew, SC, Precourt Sports Ventures, all that, took that tax benefit, and therefore this law applies. So again, you'll have to see how this plays out in court. But there's an interesting twist to this, because one, you could say MLS, Anthony Precourt, say like, fine, like we'll stay. I said this in the last video. I still don't think that's going to be their take, because these are billionaires, and billionaires just don't go like, oh, you got me, shucks, And to preface, I am not a lawyer. Let's repeat that. I am not a lawyer, okay? So this is just some guy's opinion of reading this news release, right? I don't think MLS and Anthony Precourt are going to back down. But what's an interesting take is like, okay, so they could say like, all right, you could sell the team. I'm going to sell the team. I'm Anthony Precourt. I'm going to sell the team, but it's 150 million because that's the current expansion fee cost for MLS. In which case, he makes a boatload of money, right? Because he invested, I think, originally like 68 million. So he'd make a tidy profit and move on his own way. You know, sounds great. But again, I don't think that's what MLS wants. So even if Precourt wanted it, I don't think that's the way MLS is going to go. So if they're not going to stay and they're not going to sell, then what? Could this end up in court to where they've announced that this is going to be their last season and it ends up not being their last season because it's tied up in the court system? And I don't know if the Ohio court system is going to, you know, I would guess the lawyers would ask for an injunction. Like, we need a quick decision. And they're going to say like, no, we're not going to do that because, you know, the Browns moved to Baltimore. So we're actually going to see this thing out and it's going to go to trial and there's going to be discovery and like that gets really ugly really quick and it takes a long time. As always, the lawyers win in the end. So I want to know, I'm not sure how it plays out. Like I could see that going the route, but then like even as that trial or the court case plays out, what's the result of that? What is your thought on that? I don't know. I still feel like MLS wants it in Austin. They're going to move them to Austin. But maybe it doesn't happen on the timeline they want to. But I'd like your thoughts. What do you think happens? Does MLS give up? Do they just sell to somebody local in Columbus? Or does it end up in the court system, take a long time, and then what happens? One or the other two. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. We'll see what happens. All right, check out this other stuff over here. I've got a Patreon, which is a way for you to financially support the channel. I've also got a series up there for you on how to fix U.S. soccer. We're plotting through that, different ideas to fix the USSF. All right, check those things out. We'll see you next time. And maybe next time we've got, you know, a court injunction or something interesting going on in this lawsuit. All right, we'll see you then. Have a good one.